There is a packet on top of your basket. Please go ahead and take that packet out. I'm going to tell you what the agenda is for this week. First and foremost, please put your first and last name on your packet. Today is the 3rd. It's already September. Good grief. This is period 3. Here it says I didn't change these. Please make these 4s instead of 3s. We do not have a warm-up. This is a very short week. I'm not doing a warm-up this week because I got a lot of things that I need to cover. And so we're going to omit the warm-up for this week. You're going to work on Savas, and I just showed you where Savas was during lift period. Savas is due next Friday. You want to write that down? You can. So you have 2 weeks, okay? Let's go ahead and write down your math goal. Our quiz at the end of this week is on solving equations and inequalities. So maybe you need to study those things. We did that last week. We're going to finish up literal equations. We're going to do more practice with literal equations this week. But we did a little bit of solving inequalities last week. Okay. And you all did pretty decent with that. So Friday, we'll take a quiz on those 2 items or those 2 objectives. Any questions, comments, or concerns about what's on your quiz for Friday? All right. My goal is to make sure students understand the objectives. I can get my pencil to work. Do not forget, if you do need tutoring, please make sure that you let me know and we can arrange something, okay? We did not have school on yesterday. Tonight's homework, you're going to do this first page. And this is under Monday's homework help video. This is under Monday's homework help video. It's Tuesday, but the homework help video is listed under Monday's video on Canvas, okay? The next page is going to be Wednesday. Wednesday help video is on Tuesday. It's Tuesday's video. This we're going to do Thursday's homework. Thursday's homework help video is under Wednesday. It's Wednesday's video. And the last one we're doing together in class. Okay. Oh, I didn't print it good because I didn't want to do that one anyway. All right. Any questions about the homework? Okay, so for today, I'm going to go over the warm-up from last week, and we're going to turn that packet in. You've already answered the EQs. I'm going to then model literal equations. We're going to practice a little bit. And we're going to finish the puzzle from last week. Do not forget that your homework help video is on Canvas. This one will be listed under Monday. This will be Monday's video. This would be Tuesday's video. This would be Wednesday video. And then Thursday, we're not doing Thursday. I didn't print Thursday because it's a short week. Questions, comments, or concerns? All of the videos are on Canvas, okay, on our weekly page. The essential questions for this week, and we're going to start this tomorrow. Describe how to solve equation word problems. We're going to list words that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. What is a function, and key features. We're also going to do inequality word problems, but I didn't put a question on there about inequalities, okay? Questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Put this in a safe place in your folder or your notebook. Okay. Put it in a safe place in your folder or notebook. There's a whiteboard that's in the center of your desk. Oh, I forgot. Let's go over the homework, but you do need the whiteboard. Let's go over the homework from last week. Warm up from last week. Somebody had a question about the warm up. Maya, you have number 1? Yes. Yes. Last week's warm up. All right, last week's warm up, Wednesday. Someone had a question about that. Which one? Yes, 4. All right, let's do 4. I'm gonna pause for the call so we can get ready. All right, here we go. All right, number 4. Someone needed this one. So first thing is we look for distributive property. There is no distributive property. There's no distributive property on either side of that equation. Okay, so we skip that step. The next step, we combine like terms on each side. We can combine 8x and 15x. What's 8x plus 15x? Say again. 23x. Bring down the minus 9 equals 12x. Now we're going to move the variables to the same side. Let's move 23x over here so we don't have to move as much to isolate the variable. So we're going to subtract 23x from both sides. Here, that leaves me with just a negative 9. Here, this gives me a negative what when I subtract? Got 23 minus 12 is how you're used to seeing it, like this. When I subtract, this gives me 1, this gives me 1. So that's that, a negative what? 11 what? X. Now we're going to divide both sides by what? A negative 11. When we divide both sides by a negative 11, this is going to give me a positive 9 over 11. So x here is equal to a positive 9 over 11. Okay, any others you need to see on Thursday? Derek, are you okay with that? All right. Anybody else? 6. So we're going to do distributive property. So we're going to multiply this negative 1/4 times both numbers in the parentheses or terms. We got negative 1/4 x, a positive. What is a positive? Well, sorry. What is 1/4 times 8? That means this is division. So when we say 8 divided by 4, what do we get? 2. Multiplying by 1/4 is the same as dividing by 4. Okay, remember fraction is division. We bring down the 2 minus 7x. Now we need to move the variables to the same side. Which one do you want to move? Let's move the 1/4 x. So we move 1/4 x. This is going to leave us with 2 on this side. This gives us 2 here also. And then this is going to give us a negative what? When we subtract here, what do we get? We get a negative what? 1/4 from a whole. If you subtract a fourth from a whole, what's left? 3/4. So this is going to be a negative 6 and what? 3/4 x. I'm going to put this out to the side. So we got 2 is equal to, 2 is on this side. 2 minus 6 and 3/4x. Now what are we going to do to get rid of this positive 2? So when we subtract 2, what's 2 minus 2? 0. That's going to give us a negative 6 over 3/4 x. Here, when I do this, I need to write this as an improper fraction instead of a mixed number. So the bottom number is going to be a 4. What is 4 times 6? 4 times 6 is what? 24 plus the 3. Say again? 27. And this is going to be a negative. But guys, look, does it matter if I multiply by the reciprocal on both sides? If I multiply it by anything times a 0, what is that going to be? My answer here is just going to be 0 anyway. Now we're going to look at Thursday. Thursday was a little different from what you're seeing, so we're going to do a couple there. Couple meaning we're going to do 1 and 2, okay, together, and see if you can do number 4 on your own. We'll mark out 3. Okay. We're going to do 1 and 2 together. Sit up, Abel. You okay, baby? You sure? Okay. All right, here we go. So this is a proportion. In order to solve a proportion, does anybody remember if I had n over 6 is equal to 5 over 10, how would I solve for n? What would I use to solve for n? Anybody remember from 7th grade? I know we did proportions in 7th grade. I used to teach 7th grade, so I know we did proportions. You joke, because I know we did that. Do we remember, though, how to solve a proportion? When you solve a proportion, you use cross multiplication. So you're going to cross multiply or multiply diagonally. So that means you're going to have distributive property on both sides of the equal sign. So you are going to multiply 5 times 2x plus 7. Bring down the equal. And on this side, you're going to multiply 9 times 4x minus 1. Any questions about how I set that up? Okay. So what is 5 times 2x? 10x. What is 5 times 7? 35. What is 9 times 4x? 36x. What is 9 times a negative 1? Now we're going to move the variables to the same side. Okay, I'm going to move the smaller one. I'm going to subtract 10x on both sides. I'm almost out of space. I'm going to skip that part. Okay, when I subtract 10x on this side, what do I get? No, 10x on this side, yes, you do get 0. And you're left with 35 here. When you subtract 10x on this side, what do you get? 26, somebody said x, minus 9. Now what are we going to do to get? I'm going to move this over here. We got 35 is equal to 26x minus 9. What do I do to get x, or to isolate the variable, get x by itself? Not yet. Add 9. You got to move the 9 first. The inverse of subtraction is addition. So add 9 first. When I add 9 to 35, what does that give me? That gives me 44. So now I have 26x on that side. What am I going to do to get x, or to isolate x now? Divide by 26. Now we're going to reduce the fraction. We reduce this fraction, or we could write it as a mixed number. Either way is okay. This side is going to give me x. If I reduce this fraction, what can I reduce both? Or does anybody remember how to type or reduce a fraction in calculator? That's a good question. Anybody remember how to do that? Type in 44 divided by 26. And then you're going to press the math button and enter 2 times. Math, enter, enter. The reduced fraction is 22 over what? 13. or you can write it as a mixed number. How many times will 13 go into 22? It'll go one time. With how many remaining? When I do 13 into 22 and I subtract 13 from 22, how much is left? Somebody said it, I think. 9. So this gives me 1 and 9 over what? 13. Either one could be the answer, okay? Let's go ahead and simplify this right here that's on top, so we don't have so much to do when we cross multiply. What can we do here? How do we simplify the top part? No, can't subtract first. Distributive property has to come first here. I'm going to do this out to the side. We got 9 minus 2 parentheses x plus 5. Since you can't do all operations within parentheses, you're going to multiply the negative 2 times both terms in the parentheses. Bring down the 9. What's negative 2 times x? Negative 2x. What is negative 2 times 5? Negative 10. Now let's combine like terms. Okay, what terms can we combine here? Very good. What is negative 10 plus 9? Negative 1. So we got negative 2x minus 1. Okay, so we can write that here. Okay, is negative 2x minus 1. So now let's cross multiply. That's going to make life so much easier that we simplify that numerator. So on this side, it doesn't matter which one I put first. I'm going to go ahead and make that disclaimer, okay? I'm just choosing to do this one first because it's longer, okay? We got 4 times negative 2x minus 1. And on this side, we have 3 times x, which we already know is 3x. Questions about that? All right, so now let's multiply. Distributive property. What's 4 times a negative 2x? Negative 8x. What is 4 times negative 1? Negative 4. Bring down the 3x. Now let's combine like terms. Well, we can't combine these two terms. Nothing to combine over here. I'm going to draw a line. We got negative 8x minus 4 is equal to 3x. We're going to move the variables to the same side. I'm going to move the negative 8 because it'll be a lot less work for us because the variable will almost be isolated if I move the x's to this side. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. Any questions about why I'm doing that? So I can get the variables to the same side to isolate the variable. Okay. This is now gone and I'm left with negative 4 is equal to, what is 3x plus 8x? So we got 11x. Now what do we do to isolate the variable x? Divide by 11 on both sides. So this is going to give me a negative 4 over 11 is equal to x. And that fraction is already reduced. Negative 4 divided by 11. Math, oops, sorry, Miss Reyes did that wrong. Negative 4 divided by 11. I put 1, I'm sorry. Math, enter, and that is already reduced. Any questions about that? Do number 4 on your own and then put your completed packet on top of the basket so that I can collect it. Please mark out number 3, okay? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, all right. I'm going to pause for the calls. Yes, we're going to practice solving literal equations. You ready? Okay, so let's do A is equal to length times width. And let's solve for W. Okay, do that. Pause for the cause. We're going to solve for W. All right, a lot of us got that one right. So first thing we do, to get W by itself, W is attached to L by what operation? What's the opposite of multiplication? So you're going to divide both sides by L. So this is going to give you A divided by L on this side is equal to L divided by L is 1, right? So we have W left, 1W. So 1W is equal to this. Okay, questions? All right, let's try another one. Solve for P. Solve for P. So this is what you should have, okay? You're gonna get P by itself, so you gotta get rid of the Z. What's the understood operation between P and Z? What's the inverse of multiplication? So you're gonna divide both sides by Z. So this is going to give you on this side 7n divided by Z. And on this side, Z divided by Z is 1. Z goes into Z one time. So this is 1P or just P. Okay? All right. Questions? All right. One more like this one. All right. We're going to solve for Z. Solve for Z. All right. Nicholas, look. You got to get Z. Yes. Good. You got to get Z by itself. So what operation is between the W, the Z, and the Y? It's multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? So you have to divide by both the W and the Y to get rid of the W and the Y. W divided by W is 1. Y divided by Y is also 1. So you're left with just what? Z. And on this side, you have 18A divided by WY. Any questions? All right, let's try another one. Okay, so here we're going to solve for A. We're going to solve for A. Okay, so what do we need to get rid of first that's on the same side as A? What do we have to move? No, not 16 first. 16 is attached by multiplication. We need to move the B and the what? The B and the C. Let's move B first because B in the alphabet comes first, right? How do you move B? You add B to both sides. Okay? And I'm just going to I could have did both, but I'm going to do one at a time to keep down the confusion. So I'm going to add B to this side, and I'm left with 16A plus the C, right? And on this side, I have N plus 7 plus what? B. Now what am I going to do? Subtract the C, okay? I'm going to subtract C. So this gives me 16A is equal to, now I have N plus what? 7 plus B minus what? C. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Divide by 16 on both sides. So this gives me 16 goes into 16 one time. So I'm left with A is equal to this. If I want to put this in ABC order, what would come first? B, then what? C, then what? Then the N, and last is the constant. And then divided by what? 16. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? No. Okay. All right. I do need for you to go back and I need for you to start studying literal equations. Okay. Please make sure you study. If you're having issues with that, you may need to stay after school and get some one-on-one attention. Please put the markers. Please go ahead and put those in the basket. And I'll collect because my other class is doing something similar. So please put the eraser in the basket also. One person from each table collect the work and put the work in third period. Inside Mary, can you put the markers and stuff inside the basket? Put the whiteboard under the basket, please. Work in the bin. Let's get cleaned up. You know where your calculators go under your desk number. Please turn it over so I can see the actual number. Put these in the basket. You're in your Oh, you're right. Make sure you take the letter home. Okay, baby, it's fine. Put it under the basket. All right, let's get ready to go. Don't forget to put your work in the basket. What you said. Wait on you all. I got people missing. Table 7, y'all 8, y'all not ready. Table 1, y'all not ready. Table 3, let's go. Table 3 and 4, let's go. Come on, your table's not ready, baby. Go back and sit down. Table 5 and 6. No, let's go. Rise up the top. Everybody else, let's go. Let's go. Look, man, why y'all keep calling me Biggie? Have a good day, sweetie. Have a good day, baby. Have a good day, man. Have a good day. Jason, have a good day. Come on in, sweetie. How are you? Good. How you doing? Good. How are you? Good. How you doing? Good. How are you? Come on, guys. Let's go. How are you? How you doing? Good. Don't regulate the voices. See, okay. What is that? No. In your dream, you was messing with people. And then Eric, he had lived like whoa. But like the Eric, his friend, the one that used to. All right. A couple things we need to make sure about the packet some of us turned in. If you didn't turn in the packet, please make sure that you take that packet out. From last week, Kennedy is not here. Okay. Kate, Caleb, come get packet, babe. We gotta go over it. Keenan. Okay. Alexia. Pass this over. Jeremy. Pass it. Here's yours. Emily. It's to Emily. Emily M. He's sitting on your desk. Grace. Tessa. Hey, babe. Miranda. Delvin, is that how you say it? Emily S. Chloe, Isabella, CJ. Where is CJ? Keenan here, I did. Here. Kennedy, we said was not here. Here, CJ. Thank you. All right. Okay. If you have lost your packet, you already know you need to pick up another packet here. Okay. Please make sure that anytime you're missing work, you go to the makeup work box and you pick it up. Questions, comments, or concerns? All right, let's go over the packet from last week. Make sure we cross all of our T's and and all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So first things first. With the essential questions, make sure I stop